Hello everyone. Welcome to our video about cycles and diversity in science. Are you struggling teaching your students about the science concepts? Then this is it. This video will help you in teaching your students about life cycles using a toy. We will be focusing on two different life cycles, which are the life cycle of a frog and the life cycle of a spider. This toy is suitable for Year 4 students.
Let's look at the view of the toy. This is the top view of the toy. This is the side view of the toy. This is the back view of the toy.
Now, let's have a look on what are the materials needed to construct this toy. You will need a styrofoam cutter, color pencils, color papers, glue, and scissors.
So now, let's look at how the toy works. Students will be given description cards for them to arrange the stages of life cycle accordingly. Let's look at frog puzzle as an example. The first description is slimy jelly-like structure. So now, students will need to look for the puzzle piece that matches the description. After finding the puzzle piece, they will need to start fixing it. This same method has to be followed by students to complete the spider puzzle.
Isn't it cool to fix puzzles on life cycles? So, what do students actually learn from fixing puzzles on life cycles? Students will learn the science concept of metamorphosis. Metamorphosis is the process of organisms taking different forms as they grow. In other words, metamorphosis is the change of forms of an organism while it is still alive. There are two types of metamorphosis, the complete metamorphosis and the incomplete metamorphosis. Let's look at the first one. Metamorphosis is complete when there is a clear distinction between the stages of development of an organism. For example, the life cycle of a frog. The incomplete metamorphosis is when there is a gradual transformation between the stages of development. So for instance, when you look at the young spider, it closely resembles the adult spider. Thus, incomplete metamorphosis refers to an organism that goes through a series of stages, looking progressively more like its adult. This toy will teach students on the biological process of animals. In this case, it is the frog and the spider. Hence, for this lesson, students should already know the classification of animals. Students should be aware that animals are classified into 6 groups, which are mammals, reptiles, amphibians, fish, birds, and insects. Moving on, what do students learn at the end of this lesson using the toy created? Firstly, by the end of this lesson, students will be able to match the pieces of puzzle that belongs to the respective life cycles. Secondly, students will be able to identify the stages of the life cycles based on the list of characteristics of each stages provided. Lastly, students will be able to recognize the complete metamorphosis and the incomplete metamorphosis. The first learning outcome can be measured when the students are able to match the puzzles accordingly and correctly to form the life cycle of a frog and a spider. The second learning outcome can be measured when the students are able to identify the stages of life cycles by referring to the list of characteristics of each stages provided. And lastly, the third learning outcome can be measured when the students are able to recognize that the life cycle of a frog is known as the complete metamorphosis and the life cycle of a spider is known as the incomplete metamorphosis.
You have reached to the end of our video. Hope our video has helped you in teaching your students about life cycle.
And this video is brought to you by
Shah, K,